number 4, and we're going to start with a quick recap on days 1, 2, and 3. Day number 1, we talked about how we're going to stop chasing results. We're going to stop focusing our mind on the results and judging our actions based on that. Okay, I didn't lose weight this week. That means everything I did this week was garbage. Wrong. We're done with that. That, my friends, leads to frustration, stress, and all the bad things that we don't want in our lives anymore. We're going to flip that in our minds and we're going to go focus on action. We're going to say, what can I do today that will move me toward the result I want? And then every single day, you can feel successful multiple times. Then on day number 2, we talked about the cardio formula. 2 times 5 equals 10. It really is that simple. We do not need to overcomplicate this. I want you to feel like I can do this today. Let's go and do, my friends. Then we talked about the strength formula. This one has a little bit more nuance, a little bit more detail to it. But once you digest the information and put it into action, it'll really make some simple sense for you. And you'll be like, oh, actually, this makes a lot of sense. One question that came up this week that I want to answer first thing, this is Danielle. Thank you for asking this question. She said, do you keep the same weight, the same resistance level for the full 3 months? No. Okay, let me just come on direct to camera here. Do not keep the same amount of weight for 3 months. The overload principle is this. You keep the movement the same, and as soon as you can do more than 10 reps, increase the weight. That is what the overload principle is. I apologize if I didn't explain that very well yesterday, but as soon as you can do more than 10 reps, increase your weight. That 10 number is your magic number. Let's say you're doing, I don't know, push-ups. If you can do 10 push-ups on your knees and you're like, okay, I could keep going, let's move it up. Now you're going to do 10 push-ups on your feet, okay, on your toes. If you're like, I can only do 6 or 7, great. Work up to 10. The day that you get to 10, put your feet up on a chair. And now you're doing decline push-ups and we're making it harder. It's the same movement for 3 months so that you can really strengthen those specific muscles, but your resistance is constantly going up. Thank you for answering that question. Let's definitely get that cleared up. That's so important. All right, so the strength formula was the next day. Today, we're going to talk about my top 10 fitness form hacks so that you can get fitter faster without injury. Maybe you already have an injury, or maybe you have a condition that you're working through, or you just want to prevent an injury. Let's use these 10 hacks today to make sure that happens. We're going to overcome injury. We're going to prevent it from happening in the future, and it will just make your fitness so much better, easier, and more enjoyable for you. And of course, we'll get you better results. We're also going to give you my number 1, I'm going to say it's my number 1 health hack. Mental health, physical health, all the things. This is the number 1 thing that people love the most, especially women over the age of 30. This shifts everything. Changes your hormones. It changes your mental connection with your mind and body. It changes your energy levels. It changes your cortisol. It changes everything instantly. It is amazing. So I'm going to tell you that at the very end, but you got to stick with me to the end today, and then I'll give you that one. We're also going to do a giveaway today for 5 of you, and it is worth over $1,000. This is a huge giveaway, guys. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be so awesome. 5 of you are going to get this. So stay tuned, and here we go. Jumping right into today. Before I tell you the 10 fitness hacks and the number 1 health hack, I want to tell you a quick story. I want to tell you the story of 3 friends, Anna, Ella, and Edie. 3 friends who all wanted to be healthier. And so they went to this summit. They went to a health summit where they learned all this information. And each of them came away from this summit thinking, I know exactly what to do to be healthier. And so each of them set forth with a plan. Anna decided, I'm going to do this on my own because I have a lot of experience in the health field and I know what I'm doing and I feel good about the steps I'm going to take. So I'm just going to do this on my own. I got this. Ella decided that she was going to go to the internet. She had some Instagram influencers that she loved to follow, and she's downloaded a couple of apps. She had a macro app and a workout app, and she's like, I'm going to do the things that these people say. And then Edie decided that she was going to hire somebody to be her accountability and coach. And so she's like, I just really feel like I need that consistency. So she hired somebody to help her. The 3 women went on doing their thing for about 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, each of them was making some progress. They were taking action and they were feeling driven towards their goals. But then they hit the slump. If you guys don't know what the slump is, go back and watch day number 1 or 2. And where that brain shift happens from where your conscious mind has been doing something. And now it's like, all right, Subconscious, you take this over. So your brain starts to look for patterns. But while your brain is looking for patterns, your conscious mind starts to go to other things. You start getting distracted. So Anna was like, all right, she weighed in and she had gained 3 pounds in that 3-week period. So she's like, what the heck is this all for? I'm done. So she decided that she wasn't doing the right things and she didn't know what to do from that point. So she's like, I'll just take a break. Ella was starting to get a pain in her left knee. She was doing the workouts to the T, exactly what they were saying, but her left knee was starting to kill her. And so she's like, well, I think I have to take a break because of this injury. So she kept doing the macros and she kept doing the nutrition side of it. And she's like, all right, I'll just do what I can. Edie decided that, or Edie got hit with some stressful stuff in her life. She had to start working overtime and some life changes happened for her. And so she calls her coach and she's like, hey, I need to take a break. And the coach is like, no, you got to stick with this. We're going to cut back to make it simpler. We're going to give you more time back so that it doesn't take as much time, but you got to keep going. And so she's like, all right, I've already invested in this coach. Like, I got to keep doing this. And so for the next 3 weeks, these 3 women went on with their next plan. And they kept going and doing their thing. After 2 months, these women got together and they had lunch together and they sort of had a debrief. Anna says, I am getting back on my routine. Like, I know what to do and I'm going to start over. And I took a month off and now I feel like I'm ready to get back into it. Ella was like, I have been working so dang hard and my knee hurts so dang bad and nothing is making a difference. I'm so frustrated. I'm done. Like, I'm deleting the app off my phone. I'm frustrated as heck. I don't want to do this anymore. Edie sat there and she's like, what am I even doing? She's like, what am I still doing that was from the seminar? So she asked that question to her friends. She's like, well, do you guys remember that seminar that we went to that started all of this? What are you still doing from that seminar? Anna's like, well, I mean, I'm doing a couple of things from that, but kind of here and there. It's not really working. It's not really having an effect. So I'm not really doing those things. And Ella's like, oh, I totally forgot about those things because I was doing all this stuff that was on these apps. I don't have time to do everything, right? And then Edie's like, I'm just doing those things. Like, that's all I'm doing. And I had to kind of think about it for a second to like realize, okay, I am still doing those things because they're kind of becoming habits and I don't really have to think about it anymore. So Ella kind of sat there for a minute and she's like, Edie kind of sat there for a minute and she just had to think about what she was doing because it was becoming so natural for her that she didn't really have to put in a ton of effort. She was doing simple things and she thought, well, surely my results aren't as good as my friends' results because they're doing far more intense programming than I am. The stuff I'm doing is really simple and doesn't take a lot of time. 2 more months later, Anna had restarted her program and she was getting results again like she was in the beginning. Ella had completely quit and gone back to where she was before. She hadn't gotten any results at all. Edie, after 4 months, she had lost 12 pounds, 14 inches, and 8% body fat. And she was spending less time and effort on her health than she had in years. What is the difference between these 3 women? Type it in the comments if you know. All 3 of them had the same tools. They went to the same seminar and they learned the same thing. What's the difference? Anna got overwhelmed by the lack of results. She was focused on the results, and that, my friends, is what threw her off. And that's why she had to keep starting over and over and over again, but it never produced change. Ella got overwhelmed when she tried to do everything that everyone was telling her, these different influencers and the workouts and the macro counting and all of this stuff. She wasn't even doing the basics, and it came crashing down on her and made her do nothing instead. And Edie had started with something so simple that she thought, oh, surely this won't work. She had to even cut it back partway through and make it simpler as she went. And she got the best results. She completely changed herself and she wasn't even thinking about it anymore. And she was getting progress on auto. These, my friends, are not made up stories. It sounds like I'm just telling you a tale, right? Anna, Ella, and Edie are all real people. They're all me. I have done the health routine more times and more ways than probably everyone in this room combined. This is my obsession, and I have done it every possible way out there. The only thing that works is habits. And I'm going to explain to you guys exactly why. What is missing in all of that other stuff out there? One of the reasons that works for me is because I don't have time to think about my health most days. I'm busy thinking about other people's health. This is my profession. Those of you that are in a space of something that you work with clients, you know this. Oftentimes, if you are a financial advisor, it's really hard for you to spend time on your own finances. If you are a chef, it's really hard to come home and cook for your family because you spend your best energy thinking about how to help other people with that thing. By the time you get to yourself, you're like, oh, I have to do it one more time. It's exhausting. So for me, I don't have a lot of time or mental capacity to focus on my own health. I have to habitize it. I have to turn it into a habit. And so that is what shifted for me when I realized I could. The difference is I was taking specific action for me. I am no longer doing most of the things that you learn in my challenges, you don't see or hear about other places, right? Nobody's telling you to, I don't know, what have I told you this week? To only lift 2 days a week or 20 minutes at a time. Not a lot of people are saying that kind of stuff. Not a lot of people are teaching you the difference between functional training and physique training. Not a lot of people are talking about what I'm talking about because I do things differently. Because over the years of experimentation, and I've had clientele this whole time, and a lot of my clients are opening to being guinea pigs with me. So a lot of these Annas and Ellas, they're also my clients. So it's not just me. This isn't just like, okay, well, this might work for you, Susie, but I have a different body. No, I have tested this thing in so many ways on so many people over and over and over again, habits work. For the past 6 years, I have done no other goal system. I do this every single time, whether it's for my parenting or whether it's for my faith or family relationships or my finances or whatever it is, I use the same system every time. That's how I know the system works. And then I use that system with my clients as well. Over the past 15 years, I've helped hundreds of women to make a difference in their lives, not just in their weight, in their lives. So here's the thing. You yesterday learned a killer way to simplify your workouts and know exactly what to do. Whether you're at home or whether you're working out at a gym or wherever you work out, you know now what to do. But here's the thing. You're the only person on this earth with your body. You're the only person on this earth with your mind, with your schedule, with your past experience, with your past injuries, with your unique conditions, with your interests and likes and dislikes. You're the only one like you. So even coming to challenges like this, I can give you as specific information as I can, but I can't specifically help you the best way possible in a challenge like this. I can sure as heck give you a good solid preview and a fantastic start. But if you want the fastest results possible, listen to Edie. The Edie inside me will tell you that is the way to get results. That is the way to experience real change. If you want real change, let's talk about it. So after this week, if you're still feeling overwhelmed by, okay, there's a lot of information with this and I'm not sure where to start, let's just get on a call and talk about it, okay? If you're like, I don't want to commit to a huge thing, cool. I'm going to give you 3 options today. One of them is a pay-as-you-go week by week. The other ones are 6 months or more. So there are definitely options out here for you. But if you're feeling compelled, okay, maybe I do need some help. Maybe I just need somebody outside myself to see what the piece is that I'm missing. Sometimes we've like tried all the things and you're like, none of this is working. I'm missing something. Sometimes you just need somebody outside yourself to see what the missing piece is. Oftentimes, I'll say most times, that's what you need. Simplicity, coaching, consistency, accountability. Good. I'm loving these comments, guys. Keep them coming. All right. So if you are ready to learn the 10 fitness form hacks that will help you to specifically train your body. So I'm going to give you 10 things, but I don't want you to do all 10. I want you to take the ones that are like, that's me, and do that for you. That's what I want you to get from these challenges, is how to personalize it to you. Okay. Here we go. Back to, okay. So our 10 fitness hacks. Number 1 is feet forward. This is going to be the best thing you could possibly do for your knees, hips, all of the alignment and every joint in your body. Okay. So when you take a step, everybody go ahead and stand up right now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I want you to stand up and just take a couple of steps and then freeze. Look at your foot. Is your foot turned out? I would guess 80% of you will have a slight, maybe 1/4 inch to even a full inch turnout, where if you were standing on a line of tape in a straight line, your foot will be angled this way. Do you see that? Drop the angle in the comments if your foot angles one way or the other. About 20% of you will angle inside. So you'll have a little bit of a tilt towards your hips. So your feet will either tilt out a little bit or tilt in a little bit. My friends, this is a overuse injury waiting to happen. If you have pain on the front of your knee or on the inside of your knee, it is because you have turnout. Turn those feet forward, okay? Every step you take, whether you're doing workouts or whether you're walking across your grocery store or walking to your car in the parking lot, it doesn't matter. Turn your feet forward. The one cue you can give yourself, if you're like, I don't know if my feet are forward or not, is big toe, baby toe. If your big toe and your baby toe drop at the same time, your foot will drop forward. So keep walking, walk around in the room for a minute and tell yourself that cue. Big toe, baby toe, big toe, baby toe, big toe, baby toe. And watch as your foot rolls. When you step, it'll place forward. That right there will realign every joint and hip and knee and ankle, everything from about the middle of your core down. So this will be a game changer for you. Those of you that are like, hey, I need tips on knee health, this is it. Start here. Turn those feet forward. This is the very first test I do with every single one of my in-person clients. The second one is upright posture. So we've assisted the lower half of our body by simply turning our feet forward. Now let's work the upper half of our body. Oftentimes our hips will tilt one way or the other because of our posture. If you have a posture that you get a lot of tension in your low back, generally speaking, your hips are tilted to the back, and that puts a lot of strain on your low back. If you have a lot of tension in your upper back, where a lot of us ladies hold our stress, your hips are probably tilted forward, which then extends through your core. It disengages your ab muscles and then forces your low back to work extra hard. So you're overworking your low back. Okay, so that is why you feel tired at the end of the day in that area. Whether your hips are tilted forward or back doesn't matter. Fixing your posture will solve this issue. Okay, there's two ways that you can fix your posture. One, roll your shoulders back and down 1,000 times a day. Whatever you got to do to fix that posture. And then the other is to engage your ab muscles. So oftentimes when you're in a gym or you hear people working out, you'll hear this sound where they're breathing out really hard. That is your low abs engaging. So I want everybody to take your fingers and you're going to put them between your hips and your belly button and push in. And now I want you to cough. See if you can feel that muscle flexing under there. Okay, that, my friends, is called the transverse abdominis. And if your transverse abdominis is engaged, your posture is better. So those are my two posture tips for you. Roll your shoulders back and down and exhale forcefully and pull that stomach tight. It's not about sucking it in. We're not sucking in. We are engaging the core muscles. If you can't tell, let's do a Zoom session and I can help you with that. Number 3 is soft knees. So everybody that's standing right now, go ahead and stand up right now and then just see where you naturally stand. You probably put your weight on one side and that knee is locked out, and then you have one leg that is in a relaxed position with your knee a little bit bent. That extension on that straight leg is not good for you. So what we want to do is have our knees be soft as often as we can. So that is just putting extra tension. That would be like holding a wall sit. Okay. So how many of us, when we go to sit, we use a chair, right? That's exactly what we want to do for when you're standing. Okay. If you are hyperextending your knee every time you're standing, that is like holding a wall sit instead of sitting on a chair. Don't do that to yourself. So we're going to keep soft knees all the time. Apply these 3 to every exercise you do. When you're doing a squat, everybody go ahead and stand up right now and do a squat. Check your feet. Are they free? Are they straight? Do 2 more and see if your feet start to turn out as you go. Keep those feet pointed straight all the time, unless you are more than a foot wider than hip width. So if you're doing like a sumo squat or a snatch or something like that, there are a little bit of angling we can work on. But for 90% of movements, anything that is hip width distance apart or narrower, feet forward 100% of the time. Check it between every single rep that you do. And then posture. When you're doing anything, especially during exercise, your posture shifts. You're twisting, you're moving. If you've ever done sit-ups, by the time you're done doing sit-ups, most of the time our backs are like curled around like a U shape. Lengthen through the spine. You want to make as much space as possible between your head and your hips. Lengthen through the spine. Straighten that posture. Every movement that you do, and as many times as you can when you're exercising, breathe out forceful and force that transverse abdominis to engage. It's going to be those 3 And then your soft knees, always keep your knees soft. There's no reason to fully hyperextend on pretty much anything you're doing. Keep those knees soft, especially if you're doing something high impact. If you're jumping, bend more. If you're hiking, bend more. The more you bend, the harder it will be for your muscles. True. But the less hard it will be on your joints. It's worth it. It's a win-win. You want to work your muscles harder anyway. So yeah, you're going to feel it more in your muscles. Do that. You're doing it right if you feel it more. So those are my top 3 fitness hacks, and I want you to do those 3 for everything you do. I have a youth sports and conditioning program that I do for different sports, and all of them repeat that mantra the entire time we're working out. Forward feet, upright posture, soft knees, forward feet, upright posture, soft knees. They say that probably 100 times per workout. Those are so important. All right, so number 4 is going to be one that you can do all day long. Every time you're walking, I want you to take 1 inch longer stride. So you're going to reach out a ½ inch further on the front, and you're going to extend a ½ inch further on the back. Get back up again and start walking around again. And I want you to just reach out a little bit further. Don't fully extend and lock your knee out. Remember, we're keeping our knees soft, but you can extend on the back. So reach out ½ an inch on the front and maybe even a full inch on the back, just longer strides. When you take longer strides, it shifts your posture to be over your pelvis. It changes the way that your muscles work, and it changes the way that your pelvis is positioned. So this is going to be super helpful for you in many, many ways. All you got to do, take longer steps, whatever you're doing. If you're running, take longer steps. If you're walking, take longer steps. Unless you're on like ice or something. Let's make sure that you're walking on somewhere that's stable and safe before you take these long steps. But as long as you're walking somewhere safe, do it. Change your life forever. I had a guy that came to me and he's like, my hips are so tight and they hurt me all day long. And I'm like, this is the one thing you need to change. He changed that. Problem solved. He's like 60 something, like big old difference. That's all we did. We didn't even have a session. I just told him to do that. We were on a youth activity together and he asked me this and I was like, do that. And that's all he did and totally changed. Okay. So number 5 is going to be form first. This week, we've talked a lot about progressing and increasing in resistance and pushing yourself beyond your limits and all of that stuff. Don't go there till your form is excellent. Form is never worth compromising for numbers. There is a fitness business out in the world right now that I have a really hard time with because they push the numbers before they push the form. And there are more people that get injured from that than almost any other single thing on the planet. A lot of people make a lot of progress there, but then they get injured and they lose all their progress. And it frustrates the heck out of me. The system itself is a great setup for progress, but you have to have the form in place first before you push the resistance. Form first, then move into strength and training. Number 6, stop before you pop. If you feel a pop in your knees when you're squatting or when you're lunging or when you're doing something, I want you to shift the movement so that you only go to the depth that pop doesn't happen. So I'll show you in my elbow, for example. I have a shoulder that has an injury sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. But if I go all the way up there, sometimes it will pop right there. So on the days that it's popping, I'm not going to go full extension. I'm going to stop here and then come back down. Stop right before you pop on at least your first set, and then see if on your second set you can go to full range of motion. Okay. Oh, there was the pop right there. I just felt it. So I'm going to slow and stay in control with the movement both ways. And you're going to stop before you pop. This happens a lot with knees and ankles. If you're going on a deep squat and you're feeling a grind or a pinch or a pop, give yourself 2 weeks to do a super shallow squat. You will be amazed at how much progress you can make in depth by just doing 70% of the movement instead of 100%. Yes, we want to get to full depth squats. Absolutely. That's the goal. We want range of motion. We want full mobility, but not at the extent or not at the expense of an injury. So we're going to stop before we pop. If you're popping in your knees, stop 1 inch before whatever the movement is that you're doing. 1 inch before you get to that pop, stop there, train there for like a week or 2, then increase the depth. I promise this works. Number 7 is targeted mobility and balance training. One of my very favorite things to do is to have specific movements that do 100 things with almost no effort. So one of those things is called blind balance. If you've worked with me ever, you know about this exercise. All you're going to do is you're going to stand up. Everybody that has knee problems, ankle problems, or hip issues, or you just want better balance, or you're just here on this live, stand up and you're going to stand on one leg. So you're just going to lift one leg maybe an inch off the floor. Stand up really tall. Remember, upright posture, soft knees, forward feet, You're going to stand on one leg, and you're going to close your eyes. Do you instantly feel how you immediately start wobbling around? Don't put that foot back down and stop and think, oh, I can't do that, I'm quitting. No, use that foot as support. Touch your foot down as many times as you need to, but keep that wobble. That wobble on your standing leg is strengthening your ligaments and tendons and all of your connective tissues around your knees and ankles so well, because there's very little resistance on it right now, but there's a lot of teamwork happening. As we age, our muscles and ligaments and things start to separate and do different jobs, and they forget how to work together. And that is where injuries come from. So if you train those muscles and ligaments and all of the things around the muscles to work together, you build this incredibly strong strength. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Blind balance is one of the things. I recommend people do this while they brush their teeth. You're already standing there for 2 minutes. Let's use that time wisely. Stand on one foot, close your eyes. If you're not ready to close your eyes yet, do it with your eyes open first and work up to closed eyes. Another one for targeted mobility is hips. If you have tight hips, you're going to do something called the 90-90. Sit on the floor and bend your knees, and then you're just going to drop your knees to the side, drop your knees to the other side. If you need a visual of this, you can Google it. There's a million people out there that have videos on this exercise, but it's really, really good for the hips. Another one is going to be wall angels. If you hold all your tension in your shoulders and in your neck, put your elbows and your wrists up against your wall, and then you're just going to lift up and down, trying to keep your elbows and wrists touching the wall. If they're away from the wall as you start, that's fine. Start where you are and work toward it. I have a husband that works at a desk, and he did this for many days in a row, and his posture and things totally shifted for him. It's a big old difference in where his tension was being held throughout the day. Tons and tons and tons of benefits, and all you got to do is this. So simple. So targeted mobility and balance. Find things that you need and then do those things consistently. Can be during your workouts, can be while you're brushing your teeth, can be right before you go to your desk. Whenever it needs to happen, do it your way. Number 8 is going to be ball rollouts. So I have these little balls, but you can use a racquetball, you can use a tennis ball, you can use whatever ball you got. But these, if you want these, I can definitely get them for you. They're called yoga tune-up balls. And what you do is you're just going to roll out places that are tight that are not muscles. So if you get plantar fasciitis, or if you get tendonitis, or any of the itises, this is an awesome tool. Hip flexors that are tight, you can roll this out on your hip flexor. So like my shoulder injury, before I go play volleyball, that's the exact muscle I use when I'm serving and hitting and all of that. I will just roll this out. I'll show you with my left shoulder because there's a wall. But you just stick this between your muscle and the wall. You roll it around. And then when you find the spot that feels the tension, you just kind of hold it there. It's like a massage. It should feel like a massage, shouldn't feel like pain. But that's a great tip for you. If you get plantar fasciitis, do this before you even stand up out of bed. Loosen before you need to work it. The second you stand up on your feet are already tense for the day. They get real tense when you're asleep. And so if you can relax them before you use them, it's a really awesome thing for your feet. Ball rollouts, that's number 8. Number 9 is going to be, if you're feeling a lot of pain during your workouts, use compression during and then ice after. If you have like a neoprene sleeve or something like that, that can just hold the muscle tight, or the joint, if you've got knee problems, just wear a neoprene knee brace that will just keep it warm in there. It doesn't have to be a metal brace that's all wonky. Just neoprene sleeves are awesome. It will just keep the muscle tight and contracted in there so that all of the things around the joint are working and supportive. So that way your joint isn't as stressed during the movement. So do that while you're exercising and then take it off, and you can ice afterwards. You can actually freeze your ball too and do that afterwards too. So that's a good thing. Combination. And then number 10 is going to be drink more water. Whatever the issue is, it will be solved by water. If you have joint problems, let's lube the joints with water. If you have muscle issues, let's increase the muscle speed with water. If you have headaches, let's increase the blood flow with water. I'm telling you, you guys, 100 ounces of water a day will keep every other ailment away. It's the best thing you can do for yourselves. All right, guys, so those are the 10 fitness hacks. Raise your hand if you feel like this, now that we're kind of wrapping up the challenge a little bit, where you're like, good, awesome, I know what to do. Now, who's going to make me do it? Who here is feeling like Anna and Ella and Edie at the beginning of the story? Like, all right, we went to this seminar, we're feeling pumped and motivated, and now you're like, oh no, which of those 3 am I going to be? Listen, many of you have asked me this week, how do I get the motivation to do it? How do I be consistent enough and stick to it? Or how do I find the time with my busy schedule? Or how do I know what to do? I don't have a gym membership. You don't need any of that, my friends. All you need is the simplicity of the right system. The ACT system is the way to form habits. And based on the story at the beginning, I hope you understand that habits are the way to change your life. If you want instant crazy results that cause injury later down the road, go Instagram. That's your place. However, if you want to feel good about what you're doing, focus on the actions, not focus on the results, but see them coming down the road. 4 months into this thing, your body's going to be totally different than it is right now. 6 weeks into this thing, your mind is going to be totally different than it is right now. All it takes is these 3 things. You got to take new action, and you got to do it for the first month. Then you've got to be consistent through the second month to get to transformation. That's it. It really is that simple. It is not easy, but it is simple. Why isn't it easy? Because you're missing something. If it's hard for you to stick to the plan or do the thing you want to do, there's something missing. It's probably one of these 4 things. Either the action isn't right for you. You're not doing something that is for you. If you're doing a workout you hate, it's going to be hard to stick to it. If you're doing something that causes you physical pain, you should not stick to it. If you're being forced to follow a meal plan of foods that you hate, you're going to have a problem with consistency. You've got to personalize the action to you. That, my friends, is the most important piece. That's why it's listed first. A. The C is the consistency. If you struggle to stick with something over time, it's not your fault. It's your brain wiring. Get someone to help you be consistent. If you have an accountability partner, even just for those 3 weeks, from week 4 to 7, get somebody on your team that you're going to be like, I don't want to do it today. Make me do it today. Whether that's a coach, whether that's me, whether that's your best friend, whether that's your sister, your husband, your spouse, whoever, get somebody that will make you be consistent. If you pay somebody, they will show up for you. If somebody has the same goal as you, you can show up for each other. This works however you need it to work. I promise you, you need consistency. That is an absolute must-have to get to the T, the transformation down here. However, sometimes we can do the action, we can stay consistent, we can get the transformation, but if we haven't done it in the right order, it can still come crashing down. Take Ella, for example, in that story earlier. She was doing the things. She was following a meal plan. She was doing the macros. She was doing the workout app. And it still came crashing down on her. Why? Because she needed to do things in a different order. Okay, so we use something that I call the hierarchy of habits. We're going to start you with the foundational stuff that's going to last long term. Once those are in place, that's what we're going to do for the first 2 months. And that's what's going to shift your mind. Then the next 2 months, we're going to move into the intermediate stuff. All of the specifics where maybe you're tracking macros or doing specific workouts or, physique training, that kind of stuff, that's more intermediate stuff. If you don't have a foundation in place, whatever you do in the intermediate level is at some point going to come crashing down on you, just like Ella. And then once we've got those things in place, you got your foundational habits, you've gotten into the specifics, we're going to turn it into a lifestyle where it stays long-term with you. When you make habits in the right order, they make sense. They add to each other. Instead of making things harder as you go, they actually get easier as you go. Most people do this in the wrong order. 90% of the programs out there are asking you to start tracking your calories from day number 1. We're going to get right into the specifics of the macronutrient process in your body. No. First, we're going to start with making sure you're sleeping and you're drinking water and you're moving. I'm not going to train your physique specifics until I know, okay, are you sitting 8 hours a day? If so, we've got to shift that piece first. Once that becomes a habit, then we can get into physique training because now we know, all right, your body is ready for this. If you go straight from sitting on the couch to running a marathon, you will have injuries. 100% of the time, I guarantee that will be your result. You cannot do this triangle in the wrong order. You must start with the foundation first. Foundational habits make you feel good. They help you have the confidence to know you can do this thing. And those are the things that are going to set you up for future success. It also is the part of the process where your mind shifts, where you think, okay, I'm stopping focusing on results. I'm going to be proud of the work I do today. That's where motivation comes from. What can I do today? And then you do that thing, and then you're proud of it and you celebrate it. Guess what? In the next morning, you're going to be like, hey, I did it yesterday. I can do it again. And I was excited about it and it felt good. The actions become something you enjoy instead of, oh, I have to do that awful workout again. No, we're going to flip this thing around on its head so that you feel good while you do it. It makes you want to accomplish your goals, and that's how you change your lifestyle. If you do it the other way around, you try to change your lifestyle first, you do crazy extremes, you're going to get frustrated, and that thing is going to come crashing down on you. Let's talk about Melissa. She's one of my clients that we worked together for 6 months, and we haven't worked together in a year. She lost 25 pounds with me, 25 pounds without me. Okay? The system works. She lost as much with me as she did without me. And the pounds are not the most thing that she's most proud of, but that's the thing that everybody asks about. So that's a number that you can track. We started with simply sleeping, drinking water, and taking 5,000 steps a day. That's it. That's where she started. Those were her first 3 habits. After 2 months, we habitized those. Those became automatic for her. She had the mental capacity to move on to the next thing. We started tracking macros. We got specific with what her nutrition should be. Increased her protein. We got really specific with her strength workouts. And we started doing a breath work exercise that you guys are going to do at the end of this call today. And then we got into even more specifics, and then we turned it into a lifestyle for her that she could do without me. After 6 months, if I've done my job, you don't need me anymore. Or once you reach, the result that you want, once you get to that place where you can trust yourself, you know the process, you have the habits in place, you keep going. It's a lifestyle for you. This is what Melissa said. She said, I got my body and my life back. It changed my whole life, not just my health. She does work differently. She does parenting differently. You'll hear from her in just a second. Angie's working with me right now. We've actually been together for 9 months. I need to update this slide. So she said, I'm not really thinking about the habits anymore. It's just who I am, and I keep losing every week. Y'all, she's got a pretty significant goal for herself, and it's going to take time. But the most important thing is she did what Edie did in the beginning of this story. She set the habits in the right order. She started with the simple stuff and built on from there. We started with sleep, with managing her sugar intake, and exercise, just taking a walk or a bike ride every day. Then we got more specific the next 2 months, and then we got more specific, and now she's up to 50 pounds lost. I said 2% body fat down. She's down to probably like 20% body, not 20, probably 12%. And this is the coolest. She's rode over 1 million meters, guys. She found a workout that she loves, and she spends a lot of time doing it because she enjoys it. And it gives her so many more benefits than just physical. It's awesome for her. She did all of this. Well, when she lost 50 pounds, in the middle of that process, she went on a cruise. She had her daughter's wedding. She went through the holidays, and they went through some really tough family stuff, and she's still achieving her goals. When you create a lifestyle, life doesn't throw you off, and you don't have to start over again every January 1st. It's built into this right here, who I am. That's the most important part. So Habitize Health is the program that we're talking about that these women have gone through. It's a 6-month coaching program for busy moms who don't have time for the other crazy that's out there. If you're done with diets, if you're done with eliminations, if you're done with crazy workout extremes, get in Habitize Health. We're going to use the 1-2-3 system where you set 3 daily goals for yourself, stick with it for 2 months under one specific goal, one specific pillar that you want. Then we repeat that process 3 times. So you do it once for your mind, once for your body, once for your life. That's what I like to say. You're going to see and feel different changes in the program.
It is so much more than just about the weight.
Can you hear that? Let me hang on. I don't think I shared that the right way so you can hear. You're going to want to hear her. Okay. Share differently. Okay. Now go. Melissa, go.
It is so much more than just about the weight. I feel like I am strong and able to do the things that I want to do.
I want to thank Susie extremely, because without this program, I actually wouldn't be where I'm at now.
I've lost 50 pounds.
Susie has just absolutely just changed everything for me.
I can't recommend it enough because it's so good, and she is amazing to work with.
I was just so down on myself mentally that I just felt bad in my own skin. And as I've been able to kind of work through some of that and get in a better place physically, it's just freed up that space in my head that is always spinning to tackle other things now that I'm not so worried about, oh, I got to go to this meeting. Does this outfit look, or I don't worry about that. I worry so much more about, okay, these are the bullet points that I need to cover in that meeting.
I feel like these things are just becoming a part of my life. And I love that. It's so nice not to have to struggle with it all the time. Probably eating less sugar than I've ever eaten in my whole life. Thank you, Susie. This program is awesome.
It makes it easy and it makes it more exciting to make more goals.
I'm eating more balanced meals and I'm drinking water and I'm sleeping, but I haven't done anything that was rocket science or out of the ordinary that you haven't taught me.
I love that piece at the end. She didn't do anything that was rocket science or out of the ordinary. My friends, I want you to love your way to health and fitness. You don't need motivation when you start with something simple enough that helps you to enjoy the journey. When you love what you're doing, you'll keep doing it and the results will follow. Think about your health and fitness like you're building a house. You've got to build the inside first. There's so much internal work that has to happen. We got to shift how your mind works with the habit formation process. We got to set up your foundational habits first so that what you add on to that stays with you and upholds. Without the strength and the unseen work and the details that come under in the foundation, everything you set up is going to come crashing down. Don't let this be your house. All the exteriors. If we were to drive through a neighborhood and see all these different houses, they all look beautiful, right? These are the results that people want. We want our bodies to look a certain way. But listen, none of those houses would even be there if it wasn't for the strength and foundation. You've got to do the work first in order to get the result. Consistency is the foundation. When you do what you love, then you add on the complicated stuff, not the other way around. Otherwise, if you start with the complex, you're going to experience yo-yos, gaining it back, frustration, and that terrible process that feels like you're on a hamster wheel. So we're going to get specific with your goals. We're going to get the consistency first, and the results that follow will then last. And it's a win-win because you'll enjoy the process now and you'll enjoy the results that come. What is the process? ACT, done in the right order. How do you know what the right order is? You get somebody who knows. My friends, I would love to work with you. If this is a question you have for yourself, and you're not sure what to do in order to personalize and adapt and make sure that you're doing the right things for yourself, you need somebody with you every week. Instead of like, all right, here's your workout plan, go do it for 2 months and we'll check back in. No, we're gonna check in every single week. I want to know exactly what you did for 7 days or more, 5 days, 3 days. I want to know what piece you're missing. I want to help you to make sure that you're not missing that piece anymore. If you're asking like, why is this different than other things that I've done? This is why. When you have a coach, when you have all these systems in place, you are able to fill in that missing piece. Here's a couple of other people that have worked with me and what they had to say about it. Ariane had an issue with negative self-talk. She felt like she was always spiraling. And as soon as she'd make one mistake, it was kind of all or nothing with her. So we totally overcame that. She said, before Habitize Health, I struggled making and keeping goals, which would help me, or which would create a downward spiral of negative self-talk and then feelings that would spiral more into bad habits. Anybody ever emotionally eaten after you missed a workout or something else? That's what we're talking about. She says, I now feel confident in my ability to set new goals and for myself and translate them into lifelong habits. Ariane's a totally different person now than she was before we started. This is Tracy. Tracy's awesome. She said, I don't have time for me. She is a giver. She gives all of her time to everybody else and is always serving everybody else. She's like, I never make it on my own to-do list. So she said, I learned through the program that I can set time aside each day and focus on me. Susie helped me remember that it's okay to take care of others and myself so that I can take care of myself so that I can take care of others. When your health is better, every other aspect of your life is better, friends. Jill said, I struggle to stick to it long term. Before the program, I had a really hard time sticking to my goals and I would feel like a failure when I would make a mistake. It was very all or nothing. Then she said, I realized I don't have to be perfect. No more all or nothing. I have the tools now so I can be successful. Elaine said, I love this program. She said, health is stressful and frustrating. And it shifted to being fun and happy. Look at these words in here that she uses. Liz, it's fun. When you get to be in a group of dedicated, diligent, amazing individuals who are also, working toward and keeping their good habits, it's a great place to surround yourself. So what is Habitize Health? It is my 6-month coaching program. You get weekly accountability and coaching in several different ways. You get an online course to go with it so that you can work through it on your own time. If you want to, it takes about an hour a week or about 15 minutes a day, however you'd like to break it up, just for the first 2 months. And then after that, it's just strictly coaching. You get expert Q&A. So I bring in these guests that are on my podcast, but the podcast piece is for the public. Then we get to do live Q&A with these guests. So you guys get to ask them specific questions. So let's say that you come into the program and you're like, all right, I have, I don't know, scoliosis. I know some things about scoliosis, but I'm not the expert. So I find a scoliosis expert. I bring them in. I interview them on the podcast. So it's a win for them. And they coach you. So you get specific coaching. Whatever the need is that you have, we bring somebody in specific for that. We've brought in personal chefs. We've brought in hormone experts. We've brought in intimacy experts. We've brought in, who else? I mean, tons of people. It's been all over, just whatever the clients need. Oh, a diabetes expert. We brought in somebody about Ozempic and Wegovy and all these things that I don't know. I find people that do, and I bring them into the program. So by the end, you're going to repeat the process of 3 habits 3 times. So what are 9 of the habits that you want for yourself? If you do all those 9 things right now, you're going to overwhelm yourself. I'll tell you that right now. However, if you do them 3 at a time and repeat the process, got this. Big goals, massive life changes. If you want more me time, if you want more energy, if you want to feel better, if you want to move better, look better, and live better, Habitize Health might be for you. You can go to enroll.susiebehabits.com, but don't go there yet because I'm going to give you guys that awesome giveaway. 5 of you are going to get it. Habitize is for you. If you want results like yesterday, but you don't want short-term results. You want to actually be healthy, not skinny. If you're looking for fast results, go to Instagram. You'll find somebody that can give you instant pills or magic whatevers. If you're looking for long-term lifestyle change that you don't have to slog through, that isn't miserable for you until you get results, I'm your person. Let's do this thing. If you want to eat, drink, move, sleep, breathe, and think well without having to use motivation, or you feel like you can't stick to it, or you don't even know where to start, this is for you. If you're done with diets, if you're tired of logging and counting, and you are sick of workouts that are made for 20-year-old fitness models, let's go. Let's do this thing and design it for you. If you're ready to create a healthy lifestyle once and keep that because it's automated and keep getting results, like Angie talked about, it's just who I am. It's not even what I do anymore. We can do all of that in 6 months. If you're a man or under the age of 25, this isn't for you. This is scientifically based for women over the age of 30. If you are not ready for change, this isn't for you. We're going to change a lot of things. If you want quick fixes or short-term or yo-yo results, nada. We are here for long-term. We're here for actual health. If you want to stay right where you are, do not get in here. This will move you. If you're not sure and you're like, I have a lot of questions, just call me. Go to call.susiebehabits.com or send me a direct message that says, I want a free call. I'd be happy to call you. Talk to you about it. Couple more testimonials. Lindsay said, life's crazy. She's got a baby. She's got all this stuff going on. She's like, I have no consistency. Before Habitize Health, I needed consistency and normalcy in my life. Now I have the tools to do the things I learned to create lasting habits. I have consistency. Christine said, before, I've tried a lot of things and failed. I've tried a lot of different health challenges, and this is the first one I will continue after the program is completed. The habits are maintainable. It is different than other things. Lorna said, I have no motivation. I've needed to do this forever. I just need to start. I just never do. So this helped me do some things I've needed to do for myself for a long time. Anybody feel that? Yeah, that was huge. Lauren was awesome to work with. This is Bonnie. She came to me and she's like, I don't think this is the right time. I think I need to rehab this injury first. She had a back injury that was like hugely affecting her life. I said, what if we start with that and we add on from there? During the 6 months we worked together, she lost 16 inches, 20 pounds, and 5% body fat, but that wasn't her goal. She wanted to come and relieve a pain that she had that was causing her issues in her life. Her back pain was gone. She said, my back pain is gone. My injuries are not a concern anymore, and I'm so much more able to help and serve my family. She too is a giver. She has since traveled many, many places in the world and walked many, many, many miles without pain because of the work we did years ago. If you're wondering what you get in the program, we cover the 1, 2, 3 habit system. You get a conscious personalization plan where we actually make it you, not just some random thing that I teach. What are the things that you want for yourself? We learn how to love ourselves and how to change how we see growth. We're not focused on results anymore. We're focused on the actions I can take today And we celebrate that every step of the way. We're going to shift your mindset so that the reason why you do health is different and it matters. We're not doing it to get to a size 10. We're doing it to feel freaking awesome, to be able to do the things you want to do in your life. We're going to teach you about the slump and how to break through it. We're going to teach you about subconscious succession and how the magical mind works. We're going to teach you the instant motivation tool that you can use on days where you need it. It's powerful. Numbers and nonsense. We're going to get rid of the stuff that doesn't matter, focus on the things that do. Adaptation techniques. This one's super important to teach you how to shift as you go. You don't have to wait till the end to see if you made progress or not. We're going to shift every single day. That's why we meet every week. We're going to teach you how to reflect, affirm, and prepare differently. We've got this journal technique we use every weekend that is powerful. Rinse and repeat. Once you know this process, you can do it in everything, every aspect of your life. You take what you learn in Habitize Health and you habitize everything. It's awesome. So what do you actually get? You get weekly live coaching, personal training, and accountability. I'm going to give you my list of protein sources, healthy lunches, body weight exercises, positive affirmations, give you a new playlist. We're going to give you a workout library. We're going to give you the guest library. This is all of the past guests I've ever interviewed and the Q&As. This is nowhere for the public. The only people that have Q&A access is the people in the program. Habits library. So all of these healthy habits challenges that we do are in the program. If you're like, I love this challenge, I want more of this. Cool. Get in here. You get them all. You get the 9-week process to walk you through the habit formation system. And you get a journal, this journal right here, to help you track your progress in a way that's positive and enjoyable, not like logging food that's miserable. We're going to use the Way of Life tracker, which is a super cool and powerful tool that will help you stay consistent. And 24/7 support group. This one probably should be at the top of this. They say you are the sum total of the 5 people you surround yourself with and you spend the most time with. Who are you spending time with? Are you in a group full of people that want you to succeed, that understand the process you're making, and when you have struggles, they support you? Or are you in a group where when you succeed, somebody's like, oh, yeah, well, you're fancy now. I guess you're too good to eat the food that I'm cooking. Like, no, we're not going to do that. Let's give you a group of people that love to see you succeed. Your new healthy lifestyle. What's that worth to you? If you are a totally different person when it comes to health in 6 months from now, for the rest of your life, that's money well spent. That's time well spent. Health, systems, and confidence for life. Everything you learn in the next 6 months, you can take and use forever. If you've learned something in a previous challenge or in this challenge that you're like, oh yeah, this actually makes sense, I can remember that. It's like that, but for everything. Okay, so you get all of this stuff. Value of all that, if we were to total it up, would be like $20,000. We're not doing that. So the all-inclusive, which means you get the 6-month coaching program plus 1-to-1 every week for all 6 months. So if you're like, I want a personal trainer and I want this group program, this is all of it. It's $26.97 for the 6 months or $4.97 a month. If you just want the group aspect and you're like, I don't need the 1-to-1, but I do want everything else that you're talking about. I want the guests and I want the weekly coaching and I want the support group and all of the Q&A and everything else. I want all of that. You get that for $19.97 or $3.97 for 6 months. Or if you're like, I have no idea how long I want to work with you or what else I need, I just want to have a session. Cool. No contract, no commitment. Let's go $75 a week. It's a 1-to-1 session. However, with these 1-to-1s, if you're doing the math, $75 a week, if you times that by 6 months, is less or is more than this. So if you're like, what I need might take 6 months of 1-to-1 coaching, let's do one of these and you'll get your money's worth and 10 times the results. If you're not sure, if you're like, that's a lot of stuff, I don't know what I need, call me. Let's do this. Send me the word call in a message or go to that website. You can book a call there. Bonuses. Okay, so this is what I wanted you guys to wait for. 5 of you are going to get a huge bonus today, and the rest of all of you are going to get all these bonuses. So results guaranteed. I've never done this before, but if you try it for 30 days and it doesn't work, you can get your money back. But beyond that, I'm going to say to you, if we work together for 6 months and you haven't gotten the results you wanted, I'll keep working with you for free. How's that for a guarantee? I can guarantee that you get the results you want in 6 months. And if you don't, we'll keep working together for free after that. Let's do this. I'm not afraid to drop that kind of a guarantee. Expert live coaching. We bring these people in to talk to you. Menopause, Hashimoto, stress relief, celebrity chef, hormones, grief, trauma, endometriosis, whatever the issues are that you have, we'll bring somebody in to talk to you about it. Okay, so now is where you get the big bonus discount. All right, so 5 of you, total up the savings here, are going to get the upgrade to group or to one-to-one for free. So instead of just getting group only on this package, you're going to get all inclusive for the group price. How's that for a discount? $600 off for each of you. 5 of you, the first 5 to enroll, you're going to go to enroll.susiebhabits.com. I'll drop the link in the comments here too, so you can go there. Go to enroll.susiebhabits.com and sign up. When you sign up there, the first 5 people to enroll, either in the payment plan or the paid in full, doesn't matter. If you are the first 5 people to enroll, you get the one-to-one access as well, which is huge. 6 months, one-to-one, that's over $2,000 in personal training. Use that. You guys are going to love it. All right. So those are your options. This is now the same price as this, but only for the first 5 of you. So 5 of you enroll. Let's do this thing. In the next 6 months, let me ask you, what do you want to have or do or feel? What are you going to do to get there? If you have a plan and if you know for sure and you're like, hey, this challenge helped me with what I needed, awesome, go for it. If you have no answer to that question, please save yourself the grief of being Anna and Ella like I did. Just jump right to the thing that works. Action, consistency, transformation, habits done in the right order lead to a lifetime of change. Do you know what you're missing? What is that missing piece worth to you? When you invest in coaching, you are committed. Ask yourself, are you going to stick to it without a coach? Or how much money have you already invested? Maybe in a gym membership you're not using, or maybe there's a treadmill in a box in your basement collecting dust. Where are you spending your time and money? Is there a better place to do that actually gets you those results? It equals out to be about $10 a day. What are you willing to trade for health for the rest of your life? 6 months of shift for a lifetime of better health. What's that worth to you? All right, here it is, the instant energy hack. All right, you guys, I promised you that I would do this with you. And then we'll wrap up and be done. Thanks for sticking with me. This was a long one today. You guys are awesome. I thank you for being here. If you want the one-to-one, there is no link to buy the one-to-one directly. Someone just asked. You can just send me the comment one-to-one. So send me the direct message. Just click on my name on Instagram or Facebook and send me a message that says one-to-one, and I will send you the one-to-one calendar. If you want to get in Habitize Health, go to enroll.susiebhabits.com or click the link in the comments as soon as this is over. So meditating, here we go. This is what we're going to do. To relieve stress instantly, whether this is physical stress, mental stress, or otherwise, what you're going to do to instantly relieve stress and instantly tamp down your cortisol. This is the best thing you can do right after a workout is you're just going to lay on the floor and you're going to breathe in for 5 seconds and out for 8 seconds. And that's all you're going to do for 3 minutes. When you give your brain one thing to focus on, and that thing is a powerful mind-body connection with oxygen flowing at a huge rate, you overcome any of those hormonal imbalances that are keeping you from getting progress. A lot of my clients come to me and they're like, hey, I've been working on this stuff forever and it's not working. If we just change the way their cortisol responds to workouts and fitness, everything changes. It's massive. It's huge. It's way different, you guys. Let's do this thing. Okay. So that's what you're going to do. You're just going to lay on the floor. You're going to breathe in for 5 seconds, out for 8 seconds. You're going to count the numbers. So that gives you one thing to think about. You can do it anywhere. You can do it super fast. It doesn't have to be right after workouts, but I do recommend you do it right after workouts. Do it right before bed if you have a hard time falling asleep. Do it when you're super stressed out. Whenever you need it, do it. 5 seconds in, 8 seconds out. All right, so our last thing today is this right here. Go make it happen. We'll stop talking about and learning about health and let's actually be healthy. There's one more reminder there. Go to susiebhabits.com/habitize if you want to learn more. Go to enroll.susiebhabits.com if you want to be one of those first 5. Get that massive discount and get in this awesome program. The first 5 people get all inclusive, which includes the one-to-one weekly for 6 months. You can't get that price anywhere. If you want pay as you go training, $75 a week, just